The First Nations Futures Program started 3 cohorts ago. We selected our first group of young Hawaiians who gathered with some Maori to attend this first program, and we have since had 3 programs. First, we do a 2-week institute at Stanford University with our partners at the Woods Institute for the Environment,
where we brought people from business and communications and resource management and those academic fields, but people who were engaged in resource management and interested, and develop a more academic set of training, but also tools and ways of thinking.
Then second, we do place-based projects that enable the fellows an opportunity to apply what they've been learning and hearing about, but also give back to the sponsors of the program.
The practices that our kupunas practice work.
The fellows would travel to Aotearoa and to Hawaii and implement who they were and what they knew before they came, but also some of the training they received and the things they learned at Stanford.
The intention is that those place-based projects will look at issues to do with the land, the people, and the community.
Developing capable and passionate Indigenous leaders who understand an Indigenous model of management. What we tend to do is adopt Western, or you like, or commercial models and apply them to our resources, which doesn't necessarily match up with our values. So trying to bring that value-based stuff back into managing our lands and our resources.
So you'll see, you get to experience something that not too many people get to experience, even here in Hawaii. They really don't know what being in a native ecosystem is. That's one of the reasons I asked Kala to bring us up here, so you guys could kind of walk through and experience Kilauea. Just for you guys to notice the difference of probably what our kupuna was looking at and what we're looking at today.
Over years and years and years, looking at the management of assets that were really indigenous to native cultures, a challenge to bring in talent to lead the management of those assets that really possessed both the Western knowledge and skills and disciplines that we need, coupled with a keen understanding of indigenous worldview.
Here we are at the dawn of the 21st century, poised basically to make huge changes in how land is used, and we're poised to use the resources that we have.
It means much more than an asset. It's a genealogical part of the makeup of the stakeholders and shareholders or beneficiaries of those Indigenous land trusts. So there's a connection that is familial. It's right from the beginning of time through our traditions to those generations that are to come after us.
What the community, from a community perspective, what the needs are from the community. So that's the ultimate end product from our standpoint.
I think it's about people and land. Basically, it comes down to people and the land and culture, their symbiotic relationship, they're all one. People and land equal culture, culture equals people and land.
Well, the goal is basically to collect baseline conditions and do the very early stages of interacting with the community in Kealia, and just kind of gather their mana'o on what they know and what they want to see in the future.
Kealia would be in this northern section. Yeah. But this map, when you're coming from YL south, but this is the community trail here.
We've talked to a few dozen Kealia community members in the last few days, and we noticed a lot of reoccurring statements and messages. And so we thought we'd share that and then invite the community to react.
I like to know what's going on in my neighborhood. I love the island of Hawaii. I'm just here to find out if anybody knows what's going on that I don't know about.
Well, I think that I can say that I've been really impressed with what the fellows have done after the program. That's the most important outcome. Several of the fellows have seemed to grow and change as a consequence of the whole process.
being shown a lot more ways to engage in protecting the kind of resources of our land and our culture. Just knowing these different methods and routes that we can use to express our culture and preserve it. You know, once you're aware of those types of opportunities, you can't really ignore them anymore.
Many of the fellows that were selected have already been recognized as leaders in their community, but capacity building is throughout one's life and throughout one's career or schooling. So what it did was it brought together a cadre of leaders who not only were able to strengthen their leadership skills, but continue that capacity building when they went back into their own communities by learning about new opportunities and some of the challenges that both Hawaii and Aotearoa face.
I think the broader picture is to get more Native Hawaiians managing their own resources in the community.
You know, we as the co-directors of the program have seen their growth in different ways, and each individual is different, obviously, and they come into the program with varying levels of experience, varying goals in terms of what they want to take out of the program. What we've seen is that they've grown within them in terms of things like confidence, ability, understanding, more clarity around what they want to do, both with their own personal development, but also in terms of helping their communities, whoever that community might be.
I think the relationships that we've built between the fellows, I hope it goes on forever. But I suspect certain members of this fellowship we will be seeing on the TV in New Zealand one day as senators or advocates for your people.
I think we've had an affirmation of the need for the program. We've had increasing respondents in the community, not only those who apply, but those who experience the applicants and the fellows themselves and said, that's a great idea, this is a needed program.
What this fellowship should be doing is reaching out. It should be getting larger. It should be expending more of Kamehameha's resources on this program and expanding and looking for opportunities to strengthen leadership in communities like this.